My name is Jeff Smith. I'm the Chief Technology Officer of Numerex. Numerex is a managed service provider in the M2M space. The company is a public company out of the United States that's been around for about 22 years. Sure. In the M2M space, you really are going to create some challenges relative to scale, reliability, and security. So part of my talk today was about how you're going to scale systems relative to the application and also the network and also the device. And so from a scalability standpoint, you're really going to run into issues, for instance, in the network, where you have large numbers of devices which are connecting. And currently with 2G devices, you have the same kind of problems, except the type of connectivity is through signaling system 7. Well, as you move towards diameter, that becomes a bigger problem, because diameter moves a lot more data. And so the question is when you have billions of devices, what's that going to do to the network? And the second question is okay, at the application layer, you may have some additional problems. So for instance, you may have a system which works quite well with 10,000 trucks that are basically looking at trying to do calculations on geofencing, and they only look at perhaps one geofence to be able to find out whether they're going in and out of a destination. Now you change that model slightly. You do just a slightly different use case. And what happens is for instance, let's say you want to find out whether those 10,000 trucks are going into 600 depots. All of a sudden you have 6 million transactions, right, that have to occur over a very short period of time on a server someplace. Well, that's scale. And so what we need to make sure of in the M2M space is that we have the architectures of systems that can take into consideration from some of the scaling things that are going to happen as you move towards billions of devices. In the areas that we're trying to focus on in Numerex, that we think the most growth is going to occur in, are areas of security, areas of supply chain and logistics, and areas of asset tracking. So from a security standpoint, it's kind of interesting because that really is the beginnings of machine-to-machine, where things where a lot of the security applications were where you wanted to add wireless connectivity to a current device because, for instance, you're ripping out a plain old telephone set line in a home. And so a lot of the beginnings of this market were in the security area. Now what's happening in the security area is people are moving more towards home automation. So in home automation and control, you have remote capability to be able to do energy management, lights on, off, and that kind of a thing. Secondly, in supply chain and logistics, that's one of the areas that's really starting to blossom within a machine-to-machine, particularly from the point of view of trying to reduce, for instance, dwell times relative to equipment that's coming together from a manufacturing standpoint. So the ability to be able to take a device and injection mold it directly into a plastic pallet and be able to have that pallet then have the equipment on it and be able to have real-time visibility across the entire value chain is very important. And you can do it from different manufacturers that are coming together in order to build a product. And then from an asset tracking standpoint, you have the ability to be able to do long life battery-operated asset tracking devices, which may last 5 years on a set of batteries, 4 AA batteries that you can get at your local convenience store. And what you have then is the ability to have a low-cost wireless connectivity to be able to connect to sensors, and you have the ability to do long-range connectivity through cellular and satellite networks to be able to have, once again, visibility into that value chain. The areas that we really find are going to be just huge amounts of value, and you can get larger ARPUs within this industry and therefore provide a good ROI relative to the customer, are the areas of supply chain and logistics. M2M World Congress 2014 has been a great event. I go to a lot of these events, and really the number of people that have been here that have presented some really interesting information and the amount of interaction that's occurred between the people that are here has been a huge benefit for me, and I look forward to seeing everybody here next year.